Alright guys, I hope everyone is doing okay. This whole video here is probably just going to be a conversation between me and you guys. I don't have anything pulled up on my computer. I don't have any sources. It's just, I would say, pretty much a conversation that I would have with, someone at work or a family member. So obviously take that into consideration here. But basically what I wanted to talk about today is how to change the world. Probably for the better, hopefully. That's kind of what we're going for. But, I have no experience or political knowledge, really. Took government in high school and AP government in high school. That's pretty much it. But it's been a few years. So, and obviously with all the stuff going on right now, everything's kind of a cluster anyway, so nobody really knows anything, I think. I think that's pretty fair to say. Basically what I wanted to talk about is, everyone wants to change the world, right? That's what everyone says anyways. They want to do good things for people, make people's days, and that's all fine. But at the end of the day, I don't think they really do, if that makes sense. To me, it seems like there's a lot of virtue signaling going on. Probably with me too, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying I'm, some perfect person out here, never makes any mistakes, but to me it's interesting seeing all the virtue signaling going on online these days. People saying they, want to make things better for people, and then it doesn't really show in their actions or their, posts. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss today was, how I think the best way is to change the world for the better. I guess to start off, I would say, just being nicer to people. I work in retail, so, there's good parts and good moments working in retail right now. And there's definitely the bad parts where customers are just jerks. But, I guess you could say that's true in any business or any job. I don't know, it always makes me feel better if, I help somebody out and then they're appreciative, or, I help somebody with a truck that I'm not necessarily supposed to be there for. Like if a frozen truck shows up late, I have to help out with that, and I can help the frozen department out. It makes me feel better. So that's what I would say is, it makes everyone feel better if you can just give a helping hand once in a while, The next thing I would say is to just kind of dial down the political stuff on, your social media. I try not to post too much on there. I'm not saying I haven't, but it's just, for the most part, they're all just opinions, We all have them. And in general, I would say 99% of the population, they really want to make the country better for as many people as possible and make the world better for as many people as possible. We just have different ideas on how to do it. The right or the left and the middle. People want, in general, to make the world better and also make the world better for them. And that's completely fair. But when you go out and you post a ton of political stuff, especially if it's just, a roast one way or the other, that doesn't really change anyone's mind. It doesn't encourage discussion. So, I don't know. I guess I would say maybe don't stop posting, I guess, which kind of contradicts what I just said, but just kind of be aware of what you are posting. Is it actually going to create discussion, or is it just going to trigger people and start an argument? Because that doesn't help anybody really, except for, maybe you get a laugh out of it, which I guess if that's what you're going for, sure, but that certainly isn't going to make the world a better place. Another thing, a lot of people like to complain about Congress, and Congress certainly hasn't done a lot, I can tell you that, and I agree with pretty much everyone, I think, on both sides can say not a lot gets done. There doesn't seem like a lot gets done. But in my opinion, all the stuff going on right now, you can't blame it on Trump. You can't blame it on any particular person. It's just the whole scenario that we're in. We've all played a part in it, whether it's just, divisive comments like I was talking about earlier, or if it's, just showing up to work and, not doing your job because somebody makes you mad, and then, the rest of the day other people are doing your work for you, and it creates that negative environment. I don't know. I don't really even know what I'm talking about right now. I just wanted to have this conversation with you. So basically, you can't blame any particular person or party 100% for what's happened. I think the world isn't so black and white. You can't just say it's Trump's fault. You can't say it's Hillary's fault, Biden's fault, whoever. We all have a part to play here, so let's not push the blame off to other people. And I guess to explain that a little bit more, like I was saying with the Congress earlier, they're elected officials that are supposedly supposed to be representing us, right? So how can we expect these guys who have to get reelected do their job to make sure that they stay in their spot? How can we expect them to really do any compromising or really get things done when we can't even talk to our neighbors or probably in some cases family members about politics right now, because everyone will get all upset? I don't think it's very it just pushes the blame onto other people, and they certainly have their issues in Congress and a lot of the government programs and branches right now. But I don't like to see that people only blame Congress, or they only blame Trump, or they only blame this person or that person. It's up to all of us to really try and make the world a better place. And again, like I said earlier, I have my own issues I have to deal with, for sure. I'm not a perfect person, but I also don't go and pretend to post a ton of, virtue signaling on Facebook or Instagram. I don't like to create issues like that. I like to encourage discussions. I have one of the great things about working in a retail store. Obviously, it kind of sucks right now with everything going on, but there's a lot of different people there. There's a lot of people my age, some younger, and there's a lot older too. So I get that whole kind of diverse group with their own issues, depending on the age or their job or what they've done in their life so far. So I feel like I have learned a lot from them in a pretty short amount of time. So I'm getting all these different, channels of information coming in. So it's easier for me to kind of listen to one person's perspective or then have a completely different perspective come in. And that way I can make my own thoughts and decisions on that. So for me, that's pretty cool. And I would encourage everyone to kind of try and make friends or, talk to people you probably wouldn't normally talk to about some of these things and just get different perspectives on it. And that way we can all kind of understand each other's point of views a little bit more, and then we can go from there. I wanted to also talk about specifically Trump versus Hillary, Trump versus Biden, just this political divide we have right now. And we've always had it, for sure. No one can really say that, the last few years it has been crazy, for sure. And I think it has been probably more divisive than most elections. But no one can say that throughout any other election there hasn't been, some of the same issues that we have now. It's just, I heard from one of my truck drivers, I have the same truck drivers for the most part, whether they're delivering milk or a perishable truck, so I can kind of build a relationship with them a little bit. So this last Christmas, I was talking to one of my milk drivers, and he had said that his family was having two separate Christmas parties, dinners, whatever, one for the conservative side of the family and one for the more liberal side of the family. And I just thought that was just so disappointing. And it was hard for me to hear because, especially on Christmas too, whether you're religious or not, it's, it's an important day that everyone, they really try to be happy and, help other people out. And to hear that, family is probably more than just his, I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that with everything going on. They are segregating themselves to, their own point of views and stuff, where they can't even have a Christmas party together. I think it was pretty unfortunate to hear, and it did kind of mess with the rest of my day, for sure. And, I have plenty of liberal family members and plenty of conservative family members, and I just can't even imagine that, we would just not have the same Christmas party dinner together just because some of us have different views. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. Obviously there's those memes of, Thanksgiving dinner, everyone's kind of arguing, and that happens for sure. I mean, people do talk about politics. It is, in my opinion, it's a form of entertainment at this point. So that certainly happens, but to just have completely separate dinners and parties because of it, I don't think is helpful for anyone. And to add to that, my mom's side of the family definitely pretty liberal, or mostly liberal. My dad's side of the family is mostly conservative. So I get a few different views pretty often. And like I said, I can't imagine me going and treating someone else so different just because they believe the country should be run a certain way, or we should have different programs in place. Like I said earlier, everyone, or most people, I'm sure there's a few out there that don't, but everyone really does want the country and the world to be better for as many people as possible. And they just have different ideas on how to do it. And so when you just shut someone down immediately because they have, some different views, it doesn't really create any progress. All these posts, especially around election time, go vote for this person, that's fine. And then there's the posts that are like, go out and vote unless you're voting for, Trump, and then go F yourself. Like, that doesn't create any progress. And for someone that might be on the fence there, that doesn't make them want to change their mind or reconsider. That just strengthens their own resolve and their own position. It's like a parent saying, because I said so, for you to do something. Do you really feel like doing anything after that? None of us do. So it's just, I don't know, all these posts and all this back and forth on the internet has kind of been a big downer for me lately. And like I said, I understand why it's happening. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. But I just wanted to talk to you guys, in my own opinion, about how I think we can change the world. And I think it is by creating discussion and not just immediately shutting people down that maybe you dislike, or you just disagree with them on a few things, or if you disagree with them on everything. I would encourage, checking news sources from, both sides. And certainly understand that there is bias in both sides. Whatever news source you're going to get, there is some kind of bias. So I would definitely encourage looking into more than one. I also wanted to kind of discuss that, the whole posting on Instagram about Black Lives Matter and, the black squares and stuff on there. Like, I don't understand what, people think that can do. There's been issues for a long time, and just kind of trying to, air quotes, bring attention to it by posting, black squares and stuff. I don't see how that helps. Or just, destroying businesses where, people, especially small businesses, specific areas in these cities, it doesn't help anyone, and it just creates more divide, and an issue we all should probably be in one mind on. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any experience. I probably don't have too much knowledge either. And just to make sure you guys know what angle I'm coming from, I'm a Christian conservative. So now you have in general idea of, my political leaning and my kind of ideals here. And either way, I think the best way, like I said multiple times throughout this recording now, is just to talk to people. It really is. It's not that hard. Talk to your neighbor about it. Don't just go tear their sign down. Don't just post a tweet and then if people, disagree with you, or, unfriend them, or say, if you believe this or if you don't believe that, then unfriend me. What is that going to do? It's just so polarizing, and people either just don't care when they post that, or they just simply don't understand that really doesn't create any progress. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I know I said in a previous video that I didn't want to make a political channel, and that's true. I don't. But I do think this is something we have to talk about, especially if people are really interested in changing the world. And even though I only have 33 subscribers right now, and most of them are family and friends, and they kind of know my general ideas anyways. I just wanted to get this video out there so that if this does hit a few new people, maybe they can consider what I'm talking about too, and maybe they'd be more willing to have more discussions with people. Anyways, that's kind of going to be the end of the video. I know it's kind of clickbaity because I don't actually know how to change the world, but I do want to start a discussion, create some different ideas maybe where you guys will be more willing to discuss with different family members or co-workers, different point of views, and I just wanted to encourage that. So anyways, I think I'm going to leave it here. Please definitely take what I was saying into consideration, and until next time, have faith, take risks. I hate this game. I hate it so much. I don't understand how I can't hear two people running at me and they're right next to me.